Jennifer said there's no moose in Canada. What? Let's go see. So we pack up the car, stop and get our coffee. Only people from Canada would know the significance of this, and head to Algonquin Park, the Tim River to be exact. The Tim River is midway up the west side of the park near Kearney, Ontario. You enter at access point number 2.
This is such a beautiful area. You don't see a lot of people because you have to go in when the water is high. Spring is best for this trip. As you will see, the beavers build dams and raise the water level so you can paddle. You go over a beaver dam, the water is shallow and increases in depth until you get to the next beaver dam. Some of the beaver dams are massive, about 6 feet tall, and there's no going over them. You go around them.
The first couple of nights we spent on Tim Lake, a great campsite on an island. We still hang our food in the tree. We don't bring a bear barrel because the pack holds a lot more, and depending on the trip, we can put everything in one pack and make one trip across the portages. This trip was packed heavy because we only had one 120-meter portage, and we had one goal: see a moose.
So we get to camp, set everything up, make dinner, realize we don't have any plates, so we eat from our cups. It's not an issue being pretty hungry after a full day of driving, paddling, and setting up camp.
Day 2, we realized we didn't bring any coffee. So we paddled back across the lake, got in the car, and went to the store in Kearney. On the way, we see our first moose. No moose in Canada? Ha! We watch her for a while, and she walks off the road and through the swamp. We get our coffee and go sit by the campfire. Later in the day, we head over to check out this portage. We paddle across the lake, through the start of the Tim River, and take a nice easy hike over the portage. This thing is literally uphill both ways. We now know what to expect the next day and get back in the canoe.
We get about 100 meters from the portage and Sean sees something that looks out of place, way across the lake, about 1 kilometer away. So he says, "Look across the lake between the 2 trees. You see a dark spot?" I said, "The thing that just moved?"
I said, "Moose," and off we go to see it.
We paddle up on this mid-sized bull moose and get within a few meters. We sit there for what seemed like forever, watching this huge moose eat with not a worry. He had a feeling we were there. He lifted his head a few times, but didn't seem too concerned with us. Sean tried to explain what this was like to me, but until you actually see it, you won't understand how awesome it really is. The weather was amazing. Sunny days and not too much wind. The bugs were around, but we took a few steps to keep them at bay. First, there is the vitamin B1. Take this every day a week before you go, and it'll help keep the bugs away. We also had the Thermacell. We ran that thing at the site as well as in the canoe with us. We added the repellent, and we had very few bug bites.
We passed some guys in full bug gear on the river. They looked at us like we were nuts.
Eventually, the moose walked back into the bush, and we went back to camp.
So we get up the next morning, pack up, and head to her first portage ever. A whopping 120 meters. On the way, we take a look at the spot where we saw the moose the day before. Just when we thought there was no moose there, we turn the corner a little further, and there is a moose, number 3. A different moose in the same place we saw the day before. Another bull. This time of year, May 24th weekend, the moose are just starting to grow their racks that they shed in the fall. This moose has just little nubs, but later in the summer, it will be a full rack. We sat there for several minutes and watched this moose rip plants out by the roots and crunch them in his teeth. Hey baby, what do you think of that?
Just listen. You can hear how close we were.
You can see how I'm paddling, trying to get a little closer to the moose so we can get even a better look. The moose was heading for the bush, so I let out a few calls to get him to stop. Let me know in the comments below how you think I did. He did stop, so I must have been doing something right.
Now we head over the portage and into the Tim River. We paddle 50 meters and have to go around one of the biggest beaver dams either of us has ever seen. In the canoe, out of the canoe, back in the canoe.
Thankfully, it was a rather short, grassy, and solid area on the side, and we just dragged the canoe over it and back into the water below.
We were heading down the river just enjoying ourselves and not really thinking about moose when we came around a bend and there she was. Moose number 4, a huge female about 10 feet from our canoe. We jumped. The moose was startled and headed for the bush. Although it was a short encounter, it was a great one. Very few people get that close to a moose in their life.
We spent that night on Roseberry Lake, a great campsite with a beach. Yes, a beach. Plenty of moose tracks on the beach going right up to the campsite, but no sightings. We cut our trip a day short because there was a storm coming in, and we would rather be in our house than paddling in the rain. This was a great trip, and now Jennifer has no doubt that there are moose in Canada. Please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing and really helps us a lot. Also, look for more videos of Northern Ontario camping. We'll see you soon.